I really believe that bootstrapping is a process where every founder or every founder to be must go through.
Well, Tony Fernandez at my age, at 40 years old, he already start asking money for hundreds of millions, and I'm just asking for a few millions. It's still not a big deal for me.
I seriously love failure, and you cannot imagine how much I love failure. I look at failure as such a big blessing to me, you know. I am so thankful that when I fail, because it just means that I'm going to be so much better the next time.
If you have all the money in the world, if you have all the time in the world, what will you spend your time and your money to do?
Welcome to Linkprana Stories. Welcome back again to Linkprana Stories. Welcome to Linkprana Stories. Welcome back to Linkprana Stories. We are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you, whichever part of the world you're tuning in. Tell us how your day was. Here I am yet again, another episode with another fabulous guest today who have made it to the top, shared their expertise, their strength to just uplift everyone across the world. Today's episode is indeed a very, very, very special episode. Are you ready for
on the show? Wow, from our own country, India, but actually lately he was in US. Okay, let
for
me
the
share
longest period of time?
for the longest period of time. That's right.
Yes, correct. But I'm sure our country cannot hold people back very, very long. And of course, because of the COVID, I'm not sure why he shifted. I'm just taking a guess here. But I'm excited to, once he's on the stage, I would love to hear the why.
We're going to hear it from him soon. But quickly, a few words about him. A finance professional who has lived and worked in 4 countries. One of them is Singapore, just for your knowledge. Across the continents. His rich experience in world-renowned companies such as Google, Visa, PwC, which is PricewaterhouseCoopers, and KPMG, has provided the opportunity to work with stakeholders across several locations and cultures. An accountant turned into a trainer, turned into an author, turned into a speaker and a coach and an entrepreneur. He has a very, very interesting journey. He has focused on his passion of teaching and writing to start teaching negotiations, problem solving, and communications. He has also published 2 books on negotiation, one for adults and one for kids and the young adults. Currently based in Chennai with his wife and 2 daughters, let's welcome Anuj Jagannathan.
Okay, let's have Anuj right up on the stage. Hey Anuj, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks, Anil, first of all, for the introduction. And it's so great to be here. I've heard so much about this growing movement that you have, and I'm so proud to be part of it now.
No, we
Lovely.
are happy to have you on the part of the Rising Stories, Anuj. Sorry, Kush, go ahead.
No, cool. I was exactly about to say the same thing, so I'm glad Anil you did. It's cool.
See you soon, Anuj and Kush.
Thanks, Anil. Thanks. Hey, Anuj. Okay, it's really amazing to be able to have you on the show, and of course, your journey has been quite an exciting one. I'm sure not many people know everything about the journey, but definitely they want to know, and we have discussed so much about it. Today, you are in India. You were in US. So, if I want to ask you in the next 60 seconds, how will you tell what got you to US and what got you back to India? What is the reason? Before we uncover more about you.
So on a professional side, I would say opportunities in India are much, much greater right now. And this is probably a great time to be in India. I would think so. From a personal side, of course, I have family here, parents here, love to be here, spend a few more years in my own country. So that is what brought me back here. And I'm looking forward to a lot of things happening. I mean, even just the Asia Pacific region by itself is growing so much. I'm glad to be back to that region. I spent a few years in Singapore. That was great. That's where I finished my MBA from. And my MBA was I would say, turning point in my career, my life-changing moment. Because through MBA is what I started learning and going deeper into negotiation. Of course, I made some great contacts and network during my MBA. But the interest for this topic of negotiation grew from my MBA. So what happened in that 18 months of time that shifted my mindset so much from just being an accountant, no offense to accounting, but I then started going deeper and deeper into negotiations and other soft skills. I call them super skills actually. And
Ooh.
and along the way, I mean, beautiful journey. I have taught so many professionals negotiation across many different companies and locations in and around the world. And then the two books came along during that journey, and I'm so happy that I'm able to share at least widely, not just in my workshops or training sessions, but even through my book. I'm able to share my passion for the interest for negotiation to a wider audience.
You know what, Anuj? Let me tell you something. I want to ask you so much, because negotiation is something which I love a lot, and I think it's a huge part of us. When I'm talking about negotiation, I always feel like even a kid on the dinner table, when they are trying to get the meal that they want, is a sense of negotiation. And really want to applaud you that you have a book for young adults and kids, because I think that's the time when one must focus on picking up this skill, because then it becomes part of the process. You don't have to really put any extra effort, and it just seems like it's who you are, and that's how you bring it out. Of course, Anuj, you are an author for 2 books. I would love you to share how can someone write a book, but yes, that's a big topic, and I don't want you to touch upon that because I'm sure we won't be able to do justice in the time we have. But definitely, negotiation is something that I believe you can give us 1 or 2 nuggets here and there, where people who in their daily life, whether they're professionals, whether they are leaders, or I would say everybody as ambassadors of their own life, they must know how to negotiate it well. So do you want to share some 2 to 3 nuggets with us when it is about negotiation?
Sure, absolutely. I love this topic, so I can go on and on. You have to stop me if I go over. But yeah,
Okay.
First thing I think you touched upon this, Kushbu, is the fact that a super skill like this, negotiation, which we use, like you said, almost every day, in my opinion, we use this skill at least 3 to 4 times a day in a proper way. Sometimes we are just influencing or bargaining. Maybe that's a smaller segment or part of the negotiation, but we do negotiate 3 to 4 times a day. And this is from my own experience. After I wrote my book, I said, I'm going to count how many times do I negotiate in a day. And I did that for a few days, and I came to at least on an average 3 times a day I used to negotiate. Now, if it's a skill that you need so much, why would you not learn it early? So my first point to everybody out there, if it's parents right now listening to this, you would want your kids to learn negotiation early in their life. That's my first point. I wish myself that I had learned this 25 years ago, because it would have helped me a lot over my life and my career. I can actually count many instances, and there might be more that I cannot count, but there are a few instances where I wish I had learned negotiation, structured negotiation, which would have helped me a lot. Not only to not leave value on the table, but also the second point, that nugget I want to share, is negotiation is not only about getting what you want or getting an outcome. It also makes you a good human being. Now, I don't think anybody would have told you this before, but negotiation is a skill that makes you a good human being. And how is that? Because
how is that?
When you're negotiating with another person, it is not only about you. You want to make it a mutually beneficial solution. And win-win solution, which basically means that you make it such that you connect with the other person, right? You make it such that both of you get full value out of it. And at the end, it's being a good human being to be able to connect with the other person. So empathy, good listening, everything that Roshni and Jeff mentioned. Listening is a huge and important part of negotiation. So listening, being able to connect with the other person, having that empathy, building trust, these are all aspects of negotiation, which normally people don't teach you. or people don't learn these. People actually, a lot of people go into negotiation with a trial and error mindset, or we'll figure it out, we'll wing it, right? That kind of mindset. It's my mission now. What I want to teach, at least kids and young adults early, but also professionals, is learn structured negotiation. It is going to be life changing. It is going to get you, of course, good benefits and or good results. You're going to get more deals in your favor, or at least closer to what you want. But then it's also going to make you a good human being.
Wow, I think it's so amazing, and I've I've always believed in a win-win deal. I mean, that's me. I think for the past 7 years at least, ever since I've been introduced to this, I've always wanted that. But to just shape it across a concept of making yourself a good human being, it just inspires me. I'm not sure of the audiences. I would want them to tell whether they feel the same or not. It just inspires them to feel right about the word negotiation, because there is a kind of a taboo, I would say, for the word. If you're negotiating, it just doesn't feel nice. It's just not, oh, okay, you're trying to negotiate, which means it's not a nice thing that you're doing. And it's a psychological kind understanding of the terminology that we have it. Do you feel, Anuj, that this is true, what I feel? Because I personally feel that. Do you think that's a thing?
Yeah, I think there are two big myths or biases when the word negotiation comes up. One is, of course, what you mentioned is true. People feel that, oh, if I'm negotiating, what is this other person going to think about me? But I actually teach exactly the opposite. Is when you negotiate and you make it a better deal, a win-win, knowing that you're already seeking out the interest not only of yours but also the other person, trying to bring the interest of the other person into the negotiation and trying to make it a solution that works for both. I think it removes that aspect of the misconception of negotiation as something that is wrong. The other thing that I want to highlight is a lot of people feel a little bit concerned, maybe anxious, scared, maybe even restless or indifferent about the word negotiation. They say, okay, I'm going into this negotiation. I don't want to think too much about it. I'll go and see what happens, right?
Yes.
But I teach exactly the opposite, meaning when you do a huge presentation, let's say at work, right? What do? You gather all the information, you prepare for the presentation to make you strong enough to be able to communicate and put your point across. And then when you're presenting, you need to have some behaviors and techniques that you use and so on. I think of negotiation as exactly that same thing. Instead of the word presentation, take the word presentation out, put the word negotiation there. You need to gather all the information that you have for that negotiation. You need to put all that into a structure, prepare yourself strongly, and then once you go and engage with the other person, connect with the other person, have empathy, build trust. In many cultures, Kush, it is actually important to build network or build a relationship first, even before you start negotiating.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
It is important. Yeah, it is important to connect with the other person, maybe have a couple of sessions where you just get to know each other well, and then come to business.
No, that's true. And I'm glad. Please.
No, go ahead.
Okay, superb. So I think this is where the perception change is there. And I believe for all our audiences who are watching us right now, hey guys, get your kids, pick up the skills, yourself as well, because right now we're working with 140 salespeople team and we're training them, myself and Anil together, from Salt&Pepper, of course. And one of the things definitely which is kind of a moment, okay, today is the closing day, means today is the day when the client will negotiate. Today is the day when they will talk about the money, and there's a sense of fear or I mean, there's a sense of I would say hesitation with that entire concept. But I'm glad that you mentioned about the entire concept of how you can make it a part of your entire journey, and this can be from the day one and not on the finale day only. And with this, of course, such amazing nuggets on this entire thing, Anuj. I would love for you to share why LinkedIn? What exactly got you started on LinkedIn, and how has that added value to your journey as an author, and today I would say as an entrepreneur? So yeah, how has that been?
So I want to share this story. I mean, we all have been part of this. We go into, let's say, a conference, right?
Okay.
I've been to several conferences, seminars, or just sessions where we go there. We meet a lot of people, and what we are happy about meeting all these people. Okay, we are going to meet some people, get new perspectives, build some new network and relationships, right? This happens a lot when we are going into a conference. We feel the need to engage with other people. Now think of it, you have millions of people on a free conference. That is what I consider LinkedIn as, a platform which is like a conference. You have millions of people there. Why would you not want to go and engage with them, right? Connect with as many people, engage with them, and that way you build better relationship, build a network. And of course, along the way, you share your perspectives and you learn from them. That is exactly what brought me actually back to LinkedIn. I had been on LinkedIn for several years on like almost a dormant status, but then I said, no, what I need to do is I don't need to just sit there in a conference and look at other people, right? I need to go and engage with people. So let me do that. So that is what actually made me get back to LinkedIn and start getting active.
It completely makes sense. And I'm glad that you brought in the example of the conference, because that's true. LinkedIn themselves tell that it's a networking platform. I mean, if you go to
Right.
go to their own definition, that's how they define themselves. And it's a platform where you don't have any tickets to pay for, and neither you
Mhm.
have a time foundation, neither you have the geographical boundaries or the COVID situation. Nothing really holds you back to be able to build those bonds with the people you want. And you can choose to know the people before exchanging the name cards. I always like to add that, because when you go to these conferences, you meet them, only you know is their face. And how do you know who that person is, right? So on LinkedIn, you can literally choose, okay, yes, I want to learn about negotiation, and Anuj talks about it. So I can go and talk to Anuj, and then it makes complete sense. Instead of trying 10 different people and then finally landing to one and like, oh yes, that's Anuj. So it's like saving a lot of your resources in terms of time and energy as well. But yes, Anuj, as we get as your journey is evolving, and it's lovely to see the way you are now getting into an entrepreneurship journey, is there an aha moment that you would like to share with us on this journey?
Yeah, I would think when I look at LinkedIn and along this journey, um, of course, I will probably break this into two different things. One is the moment when it comes to LinkedIn, right? Uh, there are so many great stories out there. So what we need to do is not sit back and think, okay, uh, how do I contribute? If you have something to contribute, please go ahead and start being active. Like like I say, right? LinkedIn is out there where you not only share good content but make good connections, right? Share the content, but at the same time make good connections, build your network, but and engage. That engagement is the key, right?
Yes, yes,
You
yes, absolutely.
what you do is you enjoy other people's content, you celebrate that, and you contribute to it as much as you can by adding your perspectives, maybe giving them a boost in terms of liking their post or whatever. That is the key in this platform. And for me, the aha moment for LinkedIn was, of course, the engagement. And you taught that, Kush, in your workshop that I attended. But then again, there are so many effective tools you use on LinkedIn. And for
Absolutely.
example, you have shared some of them during your workshop. It is amazing that you can just add a quick elevator pitch as a video on your profile. That is amazing.
Yes,
I love that tip that you shared with us. And also
correct.
that when you want to engage, or when you want to post, be engaged with other people also, right? Before, after, some of those
Yes,
tips
yes.
really. So the aha
I call it
moment
babysitting. I
Yeah,
call it
babysitting.
babysitting. Yes. No, I am so glad, Anuj, you're sharing all of this. And as we are wrapping up for this amazing round with you, I would love to hear one last thing. What is that one thing, Anuj, you would like to be remembered for?
Yeah, I've been giving that some thought. Of course, you asked both of them that question,
I
and I was
knew
thinking,
you will be a little more prepared.
I know. So I at least had that chance to hear that question. I would say when what I want to be remembered for is the fact that I was able to uh, proactively and selflessly add value to other people. So similar to what Roshni and Jeff said,
Yeah,
to
true.
add value to other people without expecting anything in return, but at the same time to be remembered for something new that I was able to contribute to people. So there are two aspects. One is the negotiation part, which a lot of people say, "Oh, I wish. I mean, somebody had told me this earlier. Now my mission is to tell people earlier, right? That you
No,
need to
that's
learn
nice.
negotiation." The other part was the author journey. As an author, when I mentioned something to people in my contacts, they say, "Oh, your story is so inspiring. Now I want to be an author. Now I want to get on the author journey. And if I can inspire somebody along that journey to become an author, to share their views with us, that would be great for me."
Wow. I sincerely feel this. All the three people today are kind of just about value adding, and that's the beauty of the entire situation. So thank you so much, Anuj, for being with us on this amazing rising story ride and being among the top 20. So I want to congratulate you for that as
Thank
well.
you.